Hey guys, how's it going? Tony here, our cabin in the woods. Today's a snow day, so I call it my burn day, which means I don't do nothing. Watch the dogs play in the snow, and then I was channel surfing on YouTube, and I seen that there's a couple channels for some reason popped up to me, and it talked about these YouTube channels that were homesteaders, that they completely failed, or what their regrets were, what their failures were, just all of that stuff. And I thought, you know what, I want to do one about my wife and I, about our decision to move out here. Just over 8 years ago, we lived in another home, and about 30 miles from here, another log home. It was a big log home, and it was double this size of this house. And we decided we wanted to downsize. All our kids are fully grown, they're on their own, they all have their own homes, they live in the city. So we decided that we were gonna go ahead and sell. And what we did is I had a notebook, and in the notebook we had pros and cons, and we wrote down everything we can think of, why we would and why we won't make the move. That was a big list. It took a lot to get through all that to make your final decision. Because what we had at the other place was nice. I mean, it was nice. It was 1 acre, but it was very nice. Had a nice garden, but I wanted more. We wanted more. We wanted to be more self-reliant, self-efficient of what we're doing on our own properties, and do that. We worked through that process, and that process, what I was talking about a second ago at the bottom, is planning. We went through all that. We went through the whole stage. We went through what we wanted on our property, animals, everything we wanted, gardens. So we had an idea of what we were really trying to do. We spent 2 years trying to find our property. We found this one here. I would love to have a stream or a spring on it. It didn't. But one thing I did want to be was on top of a hill. So that would be the reason on that, you know, why we picked this spot. Now, move forward, and now I'm going to get to our list, what we've got. My regrets. What do I regret about moving out here? We absolutely love being out here. We will never, ever move back into town. We hate going into town, and I do mean hate it. We both cringe about it. So what is the regret? That we did not move 20 to 25 years earlier. That's it. We wish our kids could have grown up in this lifestyle. You know, gardening, taking care of animals, just taking care of them all the way through, freezer camping the animals, wildlife in our backyard, deer, turkey. I wish I could have had them to grow up into this atmosphere. I think it's so good for kids to have this. Gets them out there playing their games all day long. It's so hard to believe that kids, little kids, have their own phones. World, what's wrong with you? You know what I mean? Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. So my regret is I didn't make the move sooner. Do I have anything else? Absolutely not. Now, since I said that, you got to know, I literally for like an hour, I sat down about all 4 of these subjects and tried to really think what was my regret, what was something I was going to do different, my failure, you know, planning, what really do I need to say? But because of planning, my regrets is just one thing, because I already had everything else figured out before I got here, or I knew what I wanted. So that's it, just one there. Now, something that I would have done different. The property, nothing would have changed. It would exactly be the way I wanted it, completely. And we've been here 6 years, and now I want to expand a lot bigger for a lot more animals. What I did was what I thought was perfect for us. Okay, the house is the only thing I would have changed. 2 things only. One is safety, is put a metal roof on. Why? Well, we have bad fires in Oklahoma when it gets real hot, dry, and they rip through these areas. As you see in California, we can have them here too. Florida has them. And as you know, I live in a log home, and the metal roof would have been perfect for out in this area. And I know people would say, well, it's going to be real loud. No, because if you've seen a video I did in this home about my insulation, I don't have no pink stuff in the roof ceilings. I have no paper stuff in the ceilings. I have spray foam. They spray foam the bottom side of the plywood. So my rafters, everything is completely sealed off, so that will hide noise. We almost don't even hear when we have hail hit the roof. You don't hear it. It's really quiet. So the roof is number one. Number two is I personally I would have put a basement under our house. We live on the top of a rolling hill. You've seen how steep it is off the back of the house. I could have just as easily put a basement under here. Why? The cars would be in the garage, but also my workshop, everything I needed would be under my home. My storm shelter could have been put underneath my home with it. And I would like to have had a cold room, basically, to be able to store our foods, making a cooler area down under there. So those aren't a big, well, I can't say big things, they cost money, but those are what I would have done differently, would be just pertaining to the house, not to the land, nothing else that's out here. I wouldn't have done it. Why? Because we planned ahead. Now, what was my failure? And I seriously had to really think about all this. And then I remember telling myself, I've said this before to my kids, I've mentioned it to you on the internet, and I've always said, and I've said this message to other people, us farmers, us homesteaders, guys, we never fail. We just learned that we can't grow or do this that way here. We didn't fail, we learned something. Now, because it's on YouTube, maybe someone else will say, hey, that may work where I live, and they'll do that. So I always look at it as it's a learning process for us and helping other people by us putting out these videos for helping people. So, have my failure? I haven't failed. I don't fail. That's it. We plan ahead, we watch what we're doing, and that's my honest thought, because you've never heard me say anything about planning to make major change, or something broke, or something because I did something wrong. That's not it. We didn't fail. That's it. Saying that, now we're down to planning. Because the failures and different things and my regrets are so small, is because we planned. Like I told you, when we had the other house, we had a notebook full of what we wanted, pros and cons, what we wanted, don't want, all that. Well, when we found this property, it took us 2 years to find a property. We found a property, I Google Earth, looked on top, and I seen what we have. This is before we even put a bulldozer on the property. When I seen this property, I realized that, and I knew this already kind of, but it really opened my eyes to it, that my property and the property next to me had a fire break, was bulldozed straight across, all the way across, about 75 feet off the road. You can't see that fire break from the road. And why? Because about 10 years ago, they had a big forest fire got really close, and the guy that owns all this property, he put a fire break across the whole thing. Okay. When I seen that, I realized, I told my wife, I said, well, this fire break, all it has to be done is be cleaned up, and we can make that our driveway, curve onto our driveway, to come down to our home. So that took care of part of that. The other part was like, well, you know, we could put a garden right here. Easy to get to, right off this area. We're not taking out none of the woods. It was simple. You guys see me either drive, I just did a video with my cat on the roof. I drove through part of that fire break. It's now a little road. We've had it 6 years, it's turned into a road. That goes out toward where our goats are, our pigs are normally put, our meat birds, some of our chickens. When I seen all that, I was like, the goats can go here, the pigs could be on this side, and I can keep them separated, easy to get to, because I can unload the feeds to get to each one of them. It was just an easy peasy thing for me to figure out. So I knew before the house was even being built how I had my layout, where I wanted things. But you got to be smart about it. If this was complete 100% all woods, then I probably would have thought we need to clear out a bunch of acreage and all kinds of stuff to get there. But because that was there, it blinged, it hit me, light bulb went on, boop, and that's where all this stuff needs to go. So, in the planning, then we started thinking about the house. And I'm going to give you an example about planning. When we decided that we're going to build a log home, this is the same log company that built my other log house. Okay. This log company, Saturday White Log Homes, they, of course, you buy their homes and all that. They build them, the main structure. Then you hire people to finish it off. Okay. They offer a it's a weekend. They do it 2 times a year, maybe 3 times a year. But you can go down there, and I think it's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, or maybe it's Friday, or maybe it's Saturday, Sunday. I can't remember. But they offer for you to go down there. You sign up. It's very cheap. They feed you. You go through this course. They tell you about log homes. They tell you how they got to that point. They tell you the positives about log homes. And then at the end, they tell you all about the different materials that you can build. Spray foam your attics. That's called iglooing your home. It gives you everything. But then they take you around to go look at other log homes that they've built or are building, so you can see how they do the process. I was so intrigued, my wife and I, about this, that we didn't go once, we went twice to the same thing. Guess what? We missed 2 things the first time that we changed on this house, and I'm glad we did go. So that was planning. We went twice to this place. Anybody that's to build a log home, you need to see if they do these things. They're great to see. Or if you don't, just go to one. They're a blast to see how you build log homes, what's going on. That is planning ahead. So we knew we were going to have this home. Okay. I wanted water and electric out to all my areas. So that's planning. I knew I was going to do it, but I do know a 3/4 inch horse water pump was not going to pump water at a high pressure at 300 feet away from the well. I knew that. I also wanted to put sprinkler system in. I knew that 3/4 horse wasn't going to do it. So I went ahead and put in a 1 1/4 horsepower pump that will able to pump through a 1-inch pipe through my whole property. Like I said, there's actually 380 feet of pipe underground to all the animals and everything we've got. That's not including the sprinklers. They're all the same way. I can run my house pump, have a sprinkler zone on, take a shower, function in the house, and we don't have a water pressure problem. Don't have water pressure problem at all. That's planning ahead. Was it more money? It was. But the thing is that it was a few $100s more to do it. But now I know I have what I really truly want, and I can function. I can split off and go out in the woods if I wanted to run a line. And I guarantee I'll have darn good pressure 200 more feet away. So, electric, the same thing. I have electric going out to my animals. When I ran a water line, I ran electric the same way. The same tunnel, the same area, but they're both in protective pipings. Everything's set right. Everything is, the electrical is ground fault circuited, so nothing can happen. It's all safe. I knew I was going to do it. The house was set for that. Planning. So when you can plan something like that, you have less failures, in getting things done. You have to do your planning. The paperwork is always the hardest thing because you have to work through that. To me, it is. You have to work through it. I still have my notepad, and I think it's over here. Of everything that I wrote down, what I did was tremendous amount of pages and pages and pages. Did I say pages? Pages of things I wrote down that I scratched off as we went through. That's how important that is. Doing this planning, you don't have so much of the failures, you don't have the difficulties, and you don't have the regrets. You've got to plan ahead so you don't, and it's easier on your marriage, it's easier on your family. Also, something else I do now, I do the same thing because I've always got projects, always do. Have a short list project, have a long list project, and just do a couple of them and knock them off. Your long list, you know, just things that you just got to have the long list, and you got to work them both. You have to. It's just something you've got to do. It keeps you moving forward. It keeps your projects getting done. So, guys, write it on paper. The best thing you can do, every bit of it, and really talk it over what you want, what you're going to do. Don't go on this property or on your property, new property, and say, okay, I'm going to build a small little goat pen and then we'll enlarge it later. You know what? The cost to enlarge it now is not much more to get that done, because what you're going to have to do is take down what you did do and then enlarge it again, so you're doing double the work. Get that work done right away and go with it. Okay? All right, guys, I hope you understand what I'm talking about. I hope you really pay attention. Do your homework. Get yourself a couple good sharp pencils and papers, and that will save you the heartache of the regrets of the difference and failures. You'll shut it down. These people that I watched on YouTube this morning, there's this one person that listed off 10 failures. I was shocked. The other one had 11 or maybe 12. I think it was 12 regrets on how they did their what they would have changed about making things for their animals. My guys, you can't. I mean, that's why it happens. That's why you fail. There was no planning. They jumped in without a life preserver, and now they're trying to tread water and stay above. Do it a smart way. All right. You all have a great day. Hopefully this hits somebody the right way. It makes them think. Have a great day. Hey, hit the subscribe button. Give me a thumbs up if you would, please. Share with everybody. You have a great day. Stay warm, stay safe, and keep your eyes wide open. Have a good day. Bye.